Play ball!
Welcome to Ryan Waters' Sports Drive.
Hi, it's Tyler Myers with the Buffalo Sabres, and you're listening to Ryan Waters.
Hey, this is Dante Marsh, your all-star cornerback on the BC Lions, and you're listening to Ryan Waters.
This is Rob Johnson, UBC Okanagan Director of Athletics and Recreation, and you're listening to the Ryan Waters Sports Drive.
Now, here's your host, Ryan Waters.
The Ryan Waters Sports Drive is on, and joining us via the on-air hotline from Louisiana is head coach of the Kelowna Falcons, Al Cantwell. Who dat, Coach?
Who dat? Go Saints, go Tigers.
Hey, I want to ask you about the Tigers momentarily, but your thoughts on the season now that you've been 3 months removed from your first season in the WCL with the Kelowna Falcons, the 2011 summer. Let me hear your thoughts, your general overview, your thoughts on what transpired this year.
What a great experience, and what a difference one summer makes as far as you look back a year ago and what I was thinking about in October. Versus what I'm thinking about this October, and as far as our personnel goes, and even the little things like where am I going to be living and who's coaching and not knowing anybody. This summer, we're going to have some returning guys coming back, so a lot more. I guess there's some comfort there, but at the same time, a little more pressure and a little more anxiety because I know how important this time of year is to fill that roster with the pieces, the character guys, and the talent that we need in order to really be competitive, to give us a shot to win this thing this summer.
Your first season as head coach, as we mentioned in the WCL, what did you learn?
You know what? My biggest thing that stood out is I think I wanted to go in there and really be a coach, and these kids are coming from great programs all over the country, and I think my first mistake might have been jumping in and trying to be too much of a coach too soon. And you got to let these guys kind of play their way in and out of spots and kind of let them come to you a little bit before forcing your hand or kind of really just trying to explain what you're about. Sometimes I think I got to give these kids a little more time to show me what they're about and kind of keep that door open, but not necessarily really push things on them. But, and part of that was our slow start. When you see things that need to be changed and they got to change in a hurry, otherwise you find yourself out of the race. It's kind of a double-edged sword, but hopefully, we're going to definitely get off to a better start this year that will hopefully provide a little pathway to success there early on for both players and coaches.
Were you surprised with what you saw talent-wise across the league?
I was very surprised. I was very surprised at the pitching, across the league. I mean, even on our own staff. I mean, there's a lot of great arms, and then the normal baseball stuff stood out that, it was the guys, everyone had good arms, but it was the guys that could pound the zone consistently and just throw strikes and make the team, make teams put the ball in play and defensive play that were the most successful, which holds true all over the place. And I'm not sure that the hitting was quite where being an offensive guy, I really like to see hitting. So I'm not sure how much. I mean, there was some great pitching going on in the league, but I'm not sure. I won't be surprised to see a much better offensive production season this summer because I think it would be my guess that just the offensive was down throughout the league, but the pitching was also very good.
Did you want to focus on hitting an offense when you started to recruit for this year? You mentioned this time of the year is very important. Last month in September, just as important. Were you focusing on offense, or what did you focus on?
Really what I was looking at is last summer we had a lot of good players, but we had a lot of the same player, a lot of the same size, a lot of the same tool set, skill sets, and so this year what I'm looking for is, obviously behind the plate, a physical presence that, their body can really hold up to the grind of this summer, and we got 3 catchers coming in this summer that's going to really help us out there. Stoop, came in as the junior college guy, and on paper was our number 3 that ended up being our number 1, and he did an outstanding job for us, but at 160 pounds and 5'10", by the time he had caught 30 games, at one point he was hitting 300, I think, the first half of the season. Yep. But due to our due to the struggles elsewhere we had to rely on him for too much. And so we kind of set him up for failure a little bit because, he was catching every day and doing such a great job that he just wore down. So, we're looking for a big, strong, physical kids that can grind out the summer and really be successful the whole way through. And just be a little bit deeper at each position to where we're not asking guys like the Ryan Stoops and Andrew First to play, 54 of the 60 games we play this summer.
Yeah. The schedule came out the last couple of weeks. Falcons and the West Coast League releasing the schedule. No doubt you've had a chance to look it over. What do you think?
I have. the addition of some doubleheaders, and the number one thing that stood out, I think, our first regular season game is on the 6th, and we start out of our league or out of our division, which I really like. We're going to Cowlitz, correct? At the beginning.
Yep.
So that's something I really like, that I tried to kind of put as a point of emphasis to other coaches, that we should really push to, every game is so important, but those divisional games are just that much more important. And to play those games early, like last year, starting in Bellingham, you lose 3 games within your division, you're already looking at a big deficit to overcome throughout the summer. Mm-hmm. And as teams are fielding their teams throughout the first 2-3 weeks of the year, it's nicer to see those divisional games move later in the schedule and to later in the year, when those series really get down to crunch time, you're playing against the guys that you're trying to gain ground on or separate yourself from. So I really like that. I like the better mix that we have. We're not so road heavy right away. We get to be home and be comfortable a little bit. So I'm excited. There's a couple great things about that schedule that I like, for sure.
Do you like the fact that you start 5 days after the rest of the league starts?
You know what? I really do. I think it's kind of an advantage to us. It might give us a chance to pick up an exhibition game early. We haven't talked about that or set a date on that, but to be able to play an exhibition game before we start, to where we can really see some guys play and let the pitchers throw a little bullpen session against another team to just kind of see how everybody works. And it would be just such a huge advantage to where we started off last year, where, we were picking guys up at the airport and then, 12 hours later getting on the bus to go to our first series, still learning names. So I think this could be a great advantage to us. It also gives the guys that are on our squad a few more extra days to get there. Those guys that are going to be in the regionals and super regionals, we might not be so short-handed right out of the gate. For
a guy that's right in the mix of things, how happy is the state after LSU beat Alabama?
Oh, it was electric down here. Saturday, it was bigger than the Super Bowl in the state of Louisiana, for sure, especially going up against Nick Saban. And it was a grinder. It was everything that it was cracked up to be: some great defense, heavy hitting, and 2 programs getting after it. So it's exciting, and the next 3 weeks are going to be big as well. And now we just need to make sure the Saints start taking care of business. And down here, it's actually a threefold thing in football for us, because my high school team, they're ranked number 2 in the state, so they're starting their state playoff run here on Friday. They went undefeated for the first time in 20 years this year, so we're excited to this football season down here, football fever right now.
All right, Coach, good luck. Good luck with your baseball season as well. We'll see you back up here in a few months.
Hey, thank you, Ryan.
Your local sports authority is the Ryan Waters Sports Drive.